All right, here we go. Live, the Lakers have defeated the Minnesota Timberwolves 110-103 opening night. JJ Redick's debut. Bronny James's debut, baby. First of many for Bronny James. Before we get to that, though, I need to give a shout out to Anthony Davis. You know how many hills I have died, slaughtered because of this man, Anthony Davis. The takes that I have had throughout the years, boosting this guy and putting him on a pedestal that have made me look completely stupid because of the place that I thought he'd be all time. Why couldn't we get this Anthony Davis every day or mostly every day for the past few years when healthy? 36 and 16, 3 blocks, looking like the best player on the court, looking like the best defender on the court as well.
Yo.
Man, if the Lakers can get this Anthony Davis the whole year, I'm not putting them in the contender list, but it makes me start thinking about 2 years ago when they made the Western Conference Finals and they scared a few people, on the way to the Western Conference Finals. It's one game, don't want to overreact, but very impressed with the Lakers. Very impressed that they kept their composure in the fourth quarter when the T-Wolves cut the lead to 4.
Yes, facts.
Bob, you said before we got started that that's a game they would have lost last year. I don't know about all that. You think so?
I feel like that's a game. That's a game that would have lost last year, and we would have been on Lakers Spacers, like cracking up to
in the shadows of Lakers Spaces.
In the shadows, like listening in. But like that feels like one of those games where like the team would make a run and there'll be a kooky way they'll end up losing the game. So that's how I saw it. But like it was like you said, a great game by Anthony Davis. He looked like, was it 2 years ago when they were making that when they were making that run, and he would have like a really great game and then like a subpar game.
Yeah.
And we're just like, yo, why can't you get that great game AD all the time? Like he looked amazing on both ends, man. Like that's a great performance for opening night for him. Like that was awesome.
Yeah, it was. And LeBron, didn't have to do too much. 16, 5, and 4. I thought he played well. Roy Hachimura opened the game basically I wouldn't say on fire, but he opened the game playing very well, set the tone very early. The Lakers, they look like what you think the Lakers would look like when they're playing their best. They're not a team that I think is a contender. I think they're a team that could be in the playoffs, maybe win a round depending on their matchup. We'll see what happens. But solid start from the Lakers. What are your thoughts on JJ Redick's first night? Yeah, anything that you notice with the way he coaches, just the vibe?
Yeah, it wasn't Darvin Ham, so I mean,
moving on up, baby.
No, like I liked. No, seriously, I like some of the sets they ran. There was a lot of movement, a lot of up top handoff curls. Like they wanted to shoot a lot of threes. They did. They missed a lot,
but they shot a lot.
But they shot a lot. But they also like attacked the offensive glass a lot. I don't think they shoot this bad moving forward. We will see, but that's to be determined. But like the offense looked good. Those defensive activity. The rotation felt right. He was able to get Bronny in there for the moment for like for the moments end of the second quarter. Yeah, so, I mean it worked out. I mean, shout out to some of the players that didn't play, like no Cam Reddish. You get jumped, but maybe there was a conversation going in. But yeah, they Lakers looked impressive.
Yeah, and on the other end, T-Wolves, man, they just didn't look like themselves.
Yeah,
they didn't. It's almost like if I haven't seen a friend in a long time, like 3 or 4 months, and then I go back home. When I say home, I mean New York, New Jersey, and it's like if I haven't seen you in 4 months and like you're depressed and you're not, yourself. I'm like, what is going on with you, Kwab? Why aren't you cracking jokes? Why aren't you the jolly Kwab that I know he is? That's what it felt like with the T-Wolves, but they just did not feel like themselves. They felt small. They didn't feel like they were playing with any type of defensive intensity until the beginning of the fourth quarter. Maybe that 6-minute stretch in the fourth quarter. They just didn't feel like the Minnesota Timberwolves that I got used to last season, the ones that I thought could win an NBA championship, maybe win the Western Conference, and go into this year, with the same. And I don't really know if that's a byproduct of the trade because Karl Anthony Towns isn't the most aggressive physical person. It's not like you lost your identity because you lose Cat. You might lose some height, but you don't lose that toughness and grit. Your best defenders are still on the team.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was confusing. It was a confusing game from the Timberwolves because I figured they'd come out with a lot to prove. I mean, there was a point where Anthony Edwards got an and one in the first quarter, and he's yelling at the team like, "Come on, let's go!" Like you hear
Yeah.
it,
I
you hear it on
remember
the
that.
telecast, and it's interesting because you expect certain teams to give you duds. It's going to
Mm.
happen in an 82 game season with every team, but one team that I don't expect it from ever is last year's Minnesota Timberwolves because they played hard every night. So just seeing the T Wolves kind of just lay an egg that way, just from an effort standpoint, was very disappointing.
Did it? And this might be this might be like again, it's only game one. This might feel like a overreaction, but watching it, were you like maybe they should have made the cat trade?
I there's a part of me that feels like both teams shouldn't have done it.
Yeah, yeah. I
Uh,
think we both felt that way like initially when we saw the trade. Oh, a lot
yeah,
of
I
people
mean,
felt that way.
I know some of it with Minnesota's financial because they wanted to get out of Cat's contract, so I get it from that standpoint. And you have a big window with Anthony Edwards, and you want to build a team around him. But I just feel like that team, the way they were built, especially like against the Nuggets. I mean, that's the team that everyone thought was a juggernaut in the Western Conference was the Denver Nuggets, and you found a formula to beat them.
Yeah.
Why? Why
Why?
would you tear that up? It makes no sense, especially when you didn't have to trade Cat this year. This wasn't the year you had to trade Cat. It's like he has an expiring deal. So for me, it's early to say. I've gone back and forth on the trade because from the Knicks standpoint too, I feel like it changed their identity, and it's
Yeah.
obviously changed. I shouldn't go obviously. So far, with one game, it
One
seems like the
one
T
game. Yeah.
Wolves, yeah, their identity has changed as well. So I don't know. I don't know. Hindsight's always 2020, but it's just weird. Two teams in the Knicks and T Wolves who had such clear identities just decided to just totally mutate their DNA and go different directions. What do you think? Do you think they did it too early? Do you think that they shouldn't have done the
I'm,
trade?
no, I agree with everything you said. Really, like I know when the trade happened and we recorded, you made some points about how Julius Randle would fit on the Wolves, and even again, it's game one. It's
Yeah.
game one. So again, all this could change in a week, a couple of days, whatever. So, but he had some moments. Randall had some moments where he was driving and kicking, finding open players, and like he found Dante for a couple of threes. He found Ant for a couple of shots. Like he was doing what you used to seeing Julius do. Then there was other moments where it was just like he was holding the ball for too long. He Again, he's coming off injury. He didn't look like his normal like bully ball self where
Yeah, he
he
didn't have it
gets
in
in the
him really
lane.
today. He wasn't
Yeah,
really aggressive today.
he wasn't aggressive, which is like there were times you expect him to be aggressive. There were times he hesitated to take open shots when you're like
Yeah.
they need you to do this. Like you're an important factor in this lineup. Like as a big, like they need you to do this. So that was kind of weird to see. But again, like we keep saying, it's just game one. I'm still again, I said this when we recorded during the trade. I have to see it. I'm still like on the fence about the trade because
Yeah.
I didn't. I understand the financial reasons for doing it. I understand the Knicks needing size. I get it. It's just it comes with question marks from both sides,
Yeah.
and we saw it today in the earlier game with the Knicks, and we're kind of seeing it now. We saw it now with the T Wolves, but it wasn't a good game for them. Too many turnovers. Not enough not enough hustle on the boards. Like they usually play way harder than this. Again, disclaimer again is game one, so it could be different. But I know
Yeah.
Chris Finch wasn't happy about the effort.
Yeah. It was game one, but also you gotta realize too, when they go back to the Rudy Gobert trade, right? That took
Yeah,
over a year. Because the first year it wasn't looking like they made the right deal.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah. Good call.
they were a playoff team, but it wasn't like they were any threat to make, the Western Conference Finals or the finals like they were last year. Last year was the year it was like, okay, now this makes sense, but it took a year.
Yeah,
So sometimes these things take time. So if I'm a Timberwolves fan, I'm like, all right, maybe this might take time, just like the Rudy Gobert thing. But I'm also a big believer that you need some type of continuity.
Yeah.
I'm just shocked two teams really ditched, two of the best formats or prototypes that they've had in T-Wolves in their franchise's history, really. I mean, they only had one
Yeah.
other team that's made the Western Conference Finals, and the Knicks, the best team they've had, in my opinion, in like 20 something years. Like you just totally changed the DNA, and I get it. There's a party that understands that talent wins in this league, and you need certain things. You need the right amount of talent. And you're going against the Boston Celtics, and for the Minnesota Timberwolves, you're going against the Denver Nuggets and the Dallas Mavericks who knocked you out. But I think, again, I could be proven wrong with this. I think it was a panic trade by both by both franchises. If
Yeah.
I'm being honest, but
That's a
I don't know.
possibility.
We'll
That's a
see.
possibility. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, did the T Wolves miss Kyle Anderson? Is that what it is? Is that the real? Is that the real?
I love Kyle, man.
Yeah,
I
same,
love
yo,
Kyle.
same.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, and I'm surprised Rob Dillingham didn't get any burn. I thought he was going to at least be in the rotation.
yeah, wow. See, I wasn't even thinking about
Yeah,
him
he
during
didn't
the
get any
course of the
burn.
game.
So,
Yeah, yeah. The
so
only,
he
the only, the only two rookies that got burned was Dalton Connect and Bronny and
and
Connect.
Dalton's good,
Connect.
bro.
Dalton's good, man.
Dalton is
He's
good.
he fell. Him falling was crazy, but like
Dalton is good, man. He's
I
he's
I I want I want to see how many more like I expect him to get more minutes after like how well he played to start the game. So like he's probably gonna be more in the rotation moving forward.
he's a rookie, so I don't know if he's going to be starting by the end of the year, but he'll be starting by next year, guaranteed.
I could see it.
Yeah,
I could see that.
he's good, man. Dalton.
I
You
could
can
see
just
that.
tell by the way he moves, he shoots. He's like a. I don't want to make this comparison because they're both white, but he's a bigger, better Austin Reeves to me. Maybe not defensively.
Mhm.
I gotta see him play defense. Like
I
more.
think I think that I think they're different players, but like I know what you're saying about that. Have you seen the meme with where Dalton and Austin Reeves like high fiving, and then Caruso's like in the sky in the
No, I
background? You
haven't.
haven't seen that? I'm
No,
going
I
to
gotta see
I'm
that.
going to send that to you right now.
Oh
Be-
man.
because I was like somebody said it in one of my other group chats, and I was looking at that. I'm like, technically, if they had kept Caruso, have if they had Caruso, Reeves, and Connect
Oh
next
my
to
god.
Bron and AD, that's kind of like the perfect
Oh my god.
like
That's
weirdly the perfect lineup. Like
actually they fit together.
they all fit together.
Yeah,
Like
and
that would be
yeah,
crazy.
and Barstool Sports and Outkick would have an absolute field day, and they'd be their favorite team in the history of basketball for sure,
Yeah.
without a
So,
doubt. Yeah, I think Dalton, to me, obviously he is different than Reeves. Like Dalton's more of a shooter.
yeah.
Reeves to me is more create off the dribble, but I think Dalton can do both. I mean, he had a nice layup in transition that was like him moving through traffic, and I think Austin's probably a better passer. I gotta see more of Dalton though, so we'll see. Before we go, quick thoughts on the Bronny and LeBron James moment. Was it beautiful, or was it a DEI hire?
This is why LeBron is better than Jordan, because
You just sent me the fuck.
yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
The no, look, it's cool. I'm like I said, I'm glad it happened. Like, cool they were able to get in there. Hopefully, what it means now, like the focus just kind of switches on to like the Lakers more and what they're trying to do for the course of the season, and then Bronny can focus on if he's gonna go play in the G League.
Go to the G League and work on your game.
Yeah,
You had your
honestly,
moment.
like and
Yeah.
get better in the G League and not have so much expectations. The look, man. I know it's cool. Whatever. That's his son. It doesn't happen, especially in that. It doesn't happen. I get it. It's cool. The fact the crowd was like, you could hear them like going, starting to get crazy when they had
Yeah.
a handoff. When the hand, I'm like, bro, that's too much
Something we've
pressure.
never seen in the history of the NBA.
Oh my god! Like y'all gotta relax. Like that's to me that's the part I'm like,
It's Los Angeles.
honestly,
That's LA. That's LA.
that's not like. But I was like, yo,
Yeah.
like I get it, but like he's Bronny's already in a tough situation. Like you're putting that's an immense type of pressure that anything he does, like you can hear the crowd like,
Oh my god.
oh
Yeah.
my, oh
Yeah.
like no, like I don't. To his credit, I think he's been able to handle it well, especially after what he dealt with in college and being able to come back. I I personally don't think, and I could be easily proven wrong. I don't think that he will be NBA comfortable
Yeah.
by maybe until like his second season or whatever it is. I don't think it happens this. I don't think it happens this year. I feel like it's just gonna be a straight development year, which it should be.
Yeah.
Hopefully, he just goes to the G League and just
Even next year.
plays and just gets minutes, and people are gonna go watch the G League because of him. Like he's gonna be a draw. They might
I
televise
don't
some
know
of the
about
G
all
League
that. I
games.
don't know about all
You
that.
you okay? You think he has a following, bro? Like
No, he does, but I
he
mean,
has a following.
I don't remember, USC being packed because it was Bronny.
Yes, it was.
I don't remember. I don't remember any buzz in Los Angeles like gotta go to USC to watch Bronny play.
They were televised. Like people were going to USC games like they were ranked. Like they had a terrible team. They weren't good.
They were awful. They were freaking awful last year.
They
Yeah,
weren't good, but people went to the games to go watch, like just because they're like, oh, it's Bronny, and then LeBron would show up to some of the games, so the games were packed out, like,
yeah.
and they weren't the best team. The best team was the women's team that with Juju, like
Oh, and Juju,
that's
yeah,
the team.
Juju, yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So like, nah, people are gonna go. They're even if not people like younger kids or whatever, they're gonna go. They're gonna be interested in watching him. So to his credit, like I think he's handled well. He wants to. He's been. Everybody says he's super professional, which doesn't surprise me because of his
yeah,
dad and how he was raised. So he's probably gonna keep developing and getting better. So it was a cool moment to see. It wasn't like I wasn't there like, oh my god, this is crazy. I just
right.
thought it was like I thought it was hilarious when he got in the game and like they did the handoff. You hear the crowd, oh my! I'm like, y'all gotta relax, dude. It's not that deep. Like, oh,
Yeah, if he hit
oh,
that three, that building would exploded. Like when
and
Robert Horry hit the three in Game 5 against
dog,
the Sacramento.
dog. Now,
Alright, I'm
and
exaggerating, but
no,
yeah.
no, 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 no. You're not exaggerating. I'm agreeing with you. Like, and the fact that Bron was mic'd up. So
Yeah,
Bron being mic'd up, I heard you could hear it on the cast when he was like, yo, he like hit that when he passed it to him for the three.
yeah,
Like, and you could hear the crowd like, oh, and he missed. I'm like, yeah, that's cool, man. If he hit it, that was gonna go in the documentary, the Netflix series,
right,
whenever
right,
it
right.
comes out. It's coming out, like it's happening. But
Yeah, they
it
already
was a
started
cool
it.
moment.
They already started it.
Yeah.
Alright, well, Lakers are 1-0, T-Wolves 0-1. We're impressed with the Lakers, not impressed with the T-Wolves. I think the theme of the night was the two teams that drastically changed their rosters are gonna need some time.
Gonna need some time.
Gonna
It
need
takes
some
time.
time.
And the two teams that relatively stayed the same
That's true,
roster wise,
continuity.
continuity. Won tonight, so that's very interesting.
It is. All right, listen, if you want to follow the Dime, you can at the Dime NBA. I'm Josh Rodriguez at Josh_Rodriguez_. He's Kwab at Kwab, aka Yes. I don't know. Maybe we'll do some more tomorrow. Maybe some reactions tomorrow. There's a lot of games tomorrow, so maybe not. But definitely do an episode soon with us overreacting to everything. So stay tuned to that, and we'll see you for another episode of the Dime.